This patch might not have brought about many agent changes, but a new map calls for a new tier list to assess the priority of certain agents to deal with this new map, Breeze. What is going on, ProGuides family? It is your host Sergeant Frost, and today we have the patch 2.08 tier list for you guys. This patch didn't feature any buffs or nerfs, but a brand new map means some agents will become a lot more popular, while some will fade out of the Act 3 meta. Let's not waste any more time, let's hop right into the video. Although this patch does not have any agent buffs or nerfs, it does bring us a brand new map, Breeze. After seeing how large, expansive, and open this map is, the meta of viable agents that will be used to navigate this map will certainly bring about change in the agent meta. One of the biggest factors will be how these agents' abilities can handle themselves on bigger maps. That means things like mobility and utility efficiency are key. Let's dive into this tier list with a new map, Breeze, in mind, while also not disregarding the entire map pool as a whole. Additionally, this tier list will focus more on solo queue priority rather than coordinated team play, although it will still be considered as well. At the top of the S tier once again is Jet. Jet gets a chance to stay in the S tier this patch because of how useful her mobility will be on Breeze. She will find herself with the AWP and the Marshal a lot more on the new map, due to how open this map is and because of how many long lines of sight there are as well. Mid-map, B site, and A site all have extremely long range lines of sight that a Jet with an AWP will need to deal with. Jet has the ability to get on top of elevated surfaces and use the Vandal, Guardian, Marshal, or AWP to take pot shots at enemies both on attack and defense. And she has the ability to stay safe by dashing away instantly after she lands herself a kill. This relative safety, along with the mobility in her kit, allows for her to thrive in the meta, and she will certainly find herself a spot in the Breeze map meta as well. Speaking of dominating with Jet in the meta, the master of Jet himself, Sentinels 10s, has recently teamed up with ProGuides to make an all-encompassing Valorant course both for beginners and high elo veterans alike. Head over to our website ProGuides.com to get access to this course today and learn from one of the best players in the world while doing it. Astra once again is in the S tier this patch, and for good reason. Astra is quickly becoming the premier smoker in the game, and the new Breeze map's vast size means that her wall and multitude of smokes will give her precedence over other controllers in the meta like Omen and Brimstone. Outside of her gravity well buff she got last patch, Astra is a jack of all trades controller that this game desperately needed. She has a potential for 5 smokes, an AoE stun, a new buffed gravity well, and an ultimate that is really a control Cypher free card. Astra was rising up in popularity fast, and now that Breeze has been added into the mix, she could become the staple in the meta much sooner than expected as people learn to pilot her more. Rounding out the S tier this patch, we have Silva. Silva is finding his way into the S tier due to the new addition of Breeze. He is without a doubt the best information gathering agent by far. Cypher and Skye just can't keep up with a good Silva that knows how to use his utility to find players wherever they are on the map. While a bigger map like Breeze might make it a little hard for Silva to gather info like he would on other maps, having his powerful ultimate to threaten pushes is what's going to make him a mainstay for teams that want to lock down sites on Breeze. Now, let's move into the A tier. At the top of the A tier this patch is Viper, and most people can figure out why she's up here as well. Viper might be one of the top 3 agents to use on the new map Breeze. She has already found herself to be a meta pick on Icebox and Bind before this update, but with the layout of the new map Breeze, she might actually be S tier exclusively on this map. Viper's wall will be more effective than traditional smokes when it comes to trying to entry onto a site on the map Breeze. Her wall blocks line of sight and creates great diversion that allows for her to facilitate her team while attacking on this map. The entry points on this map are small, so her smoke and molly will make great stalling tools for her team as well. Don't forget that Viper's ultimate can cover the entirety of both A and B bomb sites on Breeze, and this will make Viper a threat to be reckoned with both on attacker and defender side whenever she is picked on this map now. Viper was already starting to rise up the power rankings in the meta, but Breeze is giving her a chance to truly shine and become a go-to agent that every team comp needs on this map moving forward. Sage is in A tier this time because of how useful her kit is becoming in solo queue. Her wall and slow orbs have great stalling capabilities that can help slow down this attacker-focused meta that we are currently in. Her heals and revive will also always come in handy. Not to mention that her revive has a special importance on the map Breeze because of how vast the map is. Picking up your fallen teammates to force a man advantage on this map will be huge, and Sage is the only agent that can make that situation possible. Phoenix is one of the most consistent duelists in the game. He clears out sites, he can flush people out of hiding spots, he has utility to help take sight, and his ult is one of the most powerful in the game. Phoenix's wall will become super useful on Breeze, and his abilities are nice for close quarter fighting, which should help you contest defenders who will try to retake site. He's not a bad entry fragger at all. It's just that some agents have gotten so many buffs that allows them to shine a little harder, and that's why they're higher on the tier list. Phoenix is still the king of entry frags, and since Reyna got nerfed, he is sharing the top spot in the duelist class with Jet. Phoenix is staying in A tier for the time being unless some changes come his way in the future. Omen has fallen out of favor in the meta, mostly because of Viper and Astro rising in usefulness and in popularity. Omen getting his flash and smokes nerf did not help out his win rate or his in-game performance at all. And when you combine this with the fact that Viper and Astra keep getting buffs from the devs, it was only a matter of time before the spooky ghost Omen stepped down a bit in the meta. While Omen's teleport can be very useful on a map like Breeze, his flash is unfortunately lackluster and is probably more of a liability than an asset. However, his abilities are still very strong in general for every other map, so he deserves to at least stay in A tier. Wrapping up the A tier is Killjoy. Killjoy is a staple in meta defenses because of how well she can lock down sites and help ward off attacks from duelist heavy attacker comps. We all know that we are in a multi-flash attacker-based meta, and Killjoy's abilities are perfect tools to ward off those 5-man rushes that just seem to work so well in solo queue. Killjoy might be a little weaker on Breeze because her ultimate might not actually cover enough ground to be the threat that she usually is. I predict that Killjoy can still be meta on Breeze, but she will not lock down sites like she normally does on the other 5 maps in Valorant. Nonetheless, she proves to be a powerful agent that is a great pick for every map, despite her being weaker on Breeze. Now, let's move into the B tier. The dark horse of the B tier this patch is Yoru, and for good reason. Yoru could be the sleeper OP pick as a duelist to dominate the map Breeze. His gatecrash has a lot more versatility when it comes to entering and escaping the bomb sites on the map Breeze. His ultimate can entry into site very reliably now, and it has a lot more room to work with as opposed to the smaller maps we already have in Valorant. This is due to the sites being bigger and it's harder to hold all the necessary angles. Additionally, Yoru's gatecrash can achieve a similar level of success when used in the same manner, and in my opinion, gatecrash is more powerful the bigger the map is, to allow him to utilize the ability. Also, because of the openness of the map, I could see a potential argument for Yoru using the operator, as his gatecrash could facilitate some extremely aggressive angles that normally would be inescapable, even for a jet. Another huge reason he will find use on this map is because of the versatility of his flashes. Yoru is the only duelist that can throw his flashes a very far distance, and in any direction or manner he chooses. This means Yoru can throw his flashes like a football into bomb sites and blind anyone on site for simply just being in the radius of the flash. There isn't much cover inside of the bomb sites on Breeze, so that means anyone trying to get aggressive defending the site is very susceptible to being full blinded by a Yoru flash that bounced through the door. Phoenix and Reyna both have short range flashes that won't be able to reach the back of sites on the new map. Yoru's utility might have found a map that could potentially make him a premier meta pick. While Yoru might be in the B tier because this is a solo queue tier list, if we were making a tier list strictly for Breeze play, Yoru could be put into S tier as a duelist with amazing versatility. Reyna is an agent that thrives in close quarters combat. This means that she will not be as useful on the map Breeze compared to her duelist counterparts. Yoru, Jet, Phoenix, and Raze will all take precedence over her when it comes to choosing the right duelist to dominate this map. Reyna is also still feeling the effects of the nerf she received earlier this year. It hasn't been a fun time for Reyna in the meta, but really good players can still make good use out of her depending on the map and the circumstance. Her kit revolving around winning duels has always been a weak point, despite good players being heavily rewarded with her reckless playstyle. Raze is in B tier for several reasons, but mostly because she doesn't have flashes or a way to heal herself. This makes her a less enticing pick compared to Phoenix, Yoru, or Reyna, but she still does her job of dealing excess damage really well. Raze's abilities won't fare well on a wide open map like Breeze, but her CQC fighting style could come in handy when it comes to retaking sites on defense. I don't know what the future holds for Raze, but at the moment she isn't cutting it in several categories that other duelists are thriving in. The only thing really going for her is that her mobility is decent with her blast packs, but the rest of her abilities aren't up to par with a lot of Breeze's map design. Wrapping up our B tier is Cypher. While in pro play, Cypher can be a great info gatherer, in solo queue, Silva is a much more efficient, effective, and a more fun to play option than Cypher is. Cypher is slow and his utility can be destroyed very easily. Also, he often feels weak when attacking, while Silva is just as comfortable information gathering on both sides. Not to mention that Breeze is a very big map, and his tripwires and cages won't be as effective on this map like how they would be on the maps like Split or Ascent. Now, let's move on to the C tier. Brimstone is down in C tier because of how much Astra and Viper have risen above him in solo queue priority in the past month. His buffs he got earlier this year did a lot to make him effective at smoking, but his kit still pales in comparison to the overloaded kits of all of his counterparts. If this list was based solely on the best smokes, then Brim would win by a lot, but unfortunately it isn't, so Brim is relegated to C tier for the time being. We do have to give him credit though. If a multiple controller meta does become a thing because of the new map Breeze, Brimstone could find himself to be more useful over Omen on that map because of how powerful his ultimate will be in post-plant situations. Skye is placed down in C tier because of her low win rate and pick rate recently, but don't sleep on her when it comes to the map Breeze. Skye has the potential to be a much higher rated pick on that map solely because of how powerful her flashes are when attacking. You can fly her flashes into the back of sight and blind everyone as your team runs in, and her ultimate is great for tracking down enemies on a big map like Breeze. Just knowing the direction her jellyfish travel in is enough to pinpoint certain locations of your enemies. Skye may be in C tier generally due to her lackluster information gathering and weaker solo play, but she has a specific niche that can make the other team very miserable on a map like Breeze. Wrapping up the tier list, we have Breach. Yes, unfortunately Breach has fallen to C tier on our tier list, because while he might be OP in pro play, his solo queue numbers are certainly not painting him in a good light within the meta. He has an abysmal low win rate and pick rate across all elos. Some reasons why this is the case is because although Breach has a strong kit that can be devastating with a coordinated team, his abilities are very hard to play around alone. And also his kit can hurt his teammates just like the enemies, which makes his abilities hard to use when your teammates are not coordinated and running around everywhere. Additionally, his functionality on Breeze is pretty weak since he lacks the capabilities to cover the whole site with his shocks and ultimate, although his flashes can prove pretty useful at times. Well guys, that's all we have for the patch 2.08 tier list. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell notification icon to ensure you stay up to date with all of our videos and ahead of the competition. If you want further help, feel free to check out our website ProGuides.com for the very best on-demand coaching. Our coaches are among the best, and we hope that you check them out if you enjoyed the video. This has been Sergeant Frost with the tier list, and I will see you all in the next one.